Okay, something that I said wasn't gonna do a whole lot on my channel, but I feel like this gun is definitely worth the review. We're gonna go ahead and be reviewing the Luxe 2.0 today. Um, I only have one other review on my channel, I believe, and it is the Bob Long G6R. Both guns I think are worth the review. Other guns that you might want to check reviews out for are Geos. Just in general, is the only other high end that I've really owned for a really long time, and uh, you can go ahead and watch other reviews on that. Nothing really too special about Geos or anything like that. They just always work. So if you want a review on that, you can go check it out on somebody else's channel. As far as reviews go, I'm not going to be doing much reviews just for guns that I think are definitely worth it. So go ahead and check out my Bob Long G6R review. And this will be the Luxe review. We're gonna unbox it. We'll talk about it a little bit and maybe do some maintenance on it. All right. So I've had to shoot this gun for a little bit, and overall, if you just want to get to the end, this is a really good gun, or a really good marker, I should say, and definitely worth the money if you want to go ahead. This marker, I did not get this brand new. The only thing that is going to be different from brand new ones in this is what I unbox. So let's go ahead and just get started and start unboxing it. Alright, so with the unboxing, obviously you're going to get some different stuff if you get it brand new. What you will get brand new is you get the charger, the gun, the grease, the spare battery, I believe. You get a parts kit. I have some O-rings and some extra screws here. You don't get the USB charging thing to go into your computer, the cable to go into your computer. You do get a two-piece stock barrel with it, and we'll get into this barrel when I start talking about the gun. I'm not sure which insert you get. This one I got with a 693. As far as the stock grease goes, it's great. You should use it all the time, and you will get a Luxe barrel bag, not this HK Army one. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the gun out, and we can put this case aside. It's a great case. Some people think it might be a little big. I like it. It's definitely sturdy. It definitely protects my gun. So. Oh, another thing, you get this extension ASA, which I can never get out, but basically it's just to, if your ASA and your tank regulator don't really line up, like say your tank regulator starts hitting the grip, you could put that ASA extender on and you're good to go. So let's go ahead and put the gun together, and we'll talk about the gun and its features. First off, it's a long feeling gun. I definitely like it. This is an aftermarket trigger. The stock trigger works just fine. Well, you can talk about things that I don't like first. The only thing I really don't like about this gun is maybe sometimes the trigger frame, these cuts along back here in the trigger frame, they're a little sharp, sharper than I would like, but that's just nitpicking at it. Other things, maybe nitpicking. Oh, the threads for the barrel are not autococker. They are, I believe, impulse threaded, and that could be a gripe for some people, especially people who like dive boomsticks. You're not going to be able to put a boomstick on here unless you have a threaded adapter. Now, with that being said, we'll go ahead and start talking about this barrel a little bit. The stock barrel for this gun is absolutely amazing. It accepts freak inserts. It's pretty much just a freak barrel. The porting on it's great. It's on the high end of the high end of the cuts. So if you guys have watched reviews on the Planet Eclipse Pro Tips, it's very similar. The paint seems to go into these grooves instead of the holes. Like I said, it accepts freak inserts. I just slammed that. So you can bore size pretty much to your needs. So as far as upgrading a barrel goes, which a lot of people do for like Planet Eclipse guns, I always see people using a different barrel on Planet Eclipse guns. Not that the Planet Eclipse barrels are bad or anything, but people tend to have their preferences on that. I don't think it's any necessary for this. Any other gripes? I really can't say, guys. I love this marker. It is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, and it talks, which is, I guess, an added feature for some people. This is a 2.0. It is not an OLED. If you prefer an OLED screen, they have that option. If you can live without, if you can live without it, then the 2.0s I think are just absolutely amazing. Let's go over features that I like. Toolless bolt right here. You can just take it out right away, easy, quick. Some people have problems with their bolt getting stuck. You just gotta wiggle it a little, put some pressure on the back with your thumb, and if you still can't get it out, if you still think that's too hard, change the can O-rings, and that should be that should solve the problem for you. This feed neck is good. Clamping feed neck, can't go wrong with it. Let's see other features that I like other than the talking board. The feel of the gun. I think the feel of the gun, besides for when you are getting around this trigger frame area, is actually excellent. It's very stretched out, very long, and you get a lot of control over it. ASA works just good. I would compare it pretty much to an Oops. I never have issues with it. I keep banging that. That's not good. And the eye covers. I think the eye covers are absolutely genius. So they're toolless eyes. And what you do is you have this little latch right here, and you push it in, put some pressure on this forward, and the whole eye cover comes off. This gun might be a little dirty. I haven't cleaned it in a little while, but that's all it is. It's very simple. I think I don't know if there's a patent on this or anything, but I think a lot of markers would benefit from something like this, or maybe doing something. I know there's a patent on the eye pipe, so you maybe not be able to do that, but if they did something like that, I think a lot of companies would benefit from it. A lot of people hate having to, use an Allen key to screw there. Another gripe would be these screws right here. Sometimes can mess up your grips, but you're hardly ever really going into these grip frame unless you're changing modes or anything like that, or when you charge the battery. That's another feature that I do like. It's a rechargeable battery. No longer have to worry about 9 volts. I only have to worry about battery for my rotor, and that's really nice. I just charge it up before a day's play, and we're set. Other than that, let's see, what else can we talk about? Let's talk about the bolt a little bit, and then we'll start getting into the maintenance. Okay. This is the 2.0 core. There are a lot of upgrades that you can get, a lot of Pooty stuff that you can get. I definitely suggest checking them out. I'm thinking about getting a Pooty bolt, just the bolt tip, because it's a flat face bolt, and if you watch this video, you'll see how it helps the ball stack. But other than that, this is a really, really, really smooth core, guys. It's probably the smoothest shooting gun that I've ever heard or ever felt, and it's simply amazing how this thing works. It's really easy to take apart and maintain as well. I'll just kind of brush through it. The bolt does not need maintenance at this point. All you do, it's 4 pieces actually in total, but that's it, guys. I'm clean this up, lube up the O-rings. Don't forget the inside O-rings on the can. No, I'm not sure if you can see that. These 2 O-rings right here, O-rings in there. There's 1 O-ring in here, but for the most part, if you lube these O-rings, you should be getting them. And that's it as far as maintenance goes. It's very, very simple. A lot of people get really confused when they see this complicated bolt system, but it's really not that bad at all. It's just a couple pieces, and And just like that, you're good to go. But yeah, like I said, this is probably one of the smoothest shooting guns you possibly find. I haven't shot a Vanquish 2.0. That's really the only gun I can actually. I've seen a lot of people compare. Even the new Shockers, a lot of people say that the Luxe quality, shot quality, is a lot better. Go ahead and stick it back in. And there you go. That's all it is to clean the bolts. What else can I talk about? I didn't really think about this review so much before I decided I wanted to do it. I guess another gripe that I could have with it is the efficiency. It's not the most air efficient gun. You're definitely going to get more pods off a Geo, definitely more pods off the G6R. It's super efficient. However, with that, I think comes better shot quality. This is hands down the best and most smooth shooting gun I've ever shot. It's almost jaw-dropping how amazing this gun can shoot. And I think that's actually why a lot of people don't like shooting it, is because they'll sit there and they'll be shooting it and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe how well this marker shoots, and the next thing they know, they go through a case of paint. Let's see. I guess we can kind of go into regulator maintenance just a little bit. I'm not really going to maintain the regulator, but I could show you how it comes apart. Alright guys, sorry about that. I didn't have the right size Allen keys, but you're just going to go ahead and grab the biggest one you got. I forgot the exact size of it, but go ahead and just loosen this retention nut right here. Pops right out, and this collar comes right off. Now, one thing you need to be careful about is there is an O-ring right in here that you do need to worry about. Just don't lose it. So the collar comes right off, and then you should be able to hand twist this regulator off. Now, this is where I've heard other complaints about the regulator, is before you start unscrewing the two pieces together, there are two retention screws that you need to be aware of, or else you will certainly mess up your regulator. So go ahead, and I believe this is your smallest Allen key. I believe it's a 1/16, if I'm not mistaken. But you go ahead and remove these two screws. On this side. And you grab your two Allen keys and you can twist this right off. Cool. Not much in here. Don't really need to worry about it ever unless you start having like regulator creep problems. A splinter, sorry about that. In here, alright, you already got the spring coming out. I don't know if this is going to come out right away. I'm just going to go ahead and grab some needle nose pliers and just be careful not to damage anything on the inside as I grab the piston. Go ahead and clean this off, lube it up, clean this off, lube it up, stick it back in the right way, I should say. That goes in like that. Keep this right. Now, these are where the little retention screws go in. Just be aware of them, and when you put this back together, you want to line those back up. It can be a little bit troublesome sometimes. I like to do is tighten it as much as I possibly can and keep track of where those screws are. And either tighten it or loosen it. However you may need. And then you can go ahead and drop these in. They should go in relatively smooth. That's good. Drop this guy in. Like I said, it's a little troublesome, but nothing too bad, especially if you're going to be paying so much for a high-end marker. It's not really. You should be prepared to take care of your marker. One last thing, they do have a filter on the inside of the rag, just to kind of help prevent anything other than air going in. I think it's a brilliant idea. Overall, I think this marker is ingenious in design. Go ahead, slip the collar back on. And go ahead and just tighten this down a little bit. Slip the collar back on. Don't forget the O-ring goes around there, and you can stick your nut back in. Something I didn't show you guys before taking your retention nut out that might make it a little bit easier is if you back your rag out all the way and count how many times you turn, so that way when you put it back in this position, you screw your rag back in however many turns you screwed it out, and you should be sitting at the same FPS that you were, or at least in the ballpark area, the same feet per second that you were before you maintain your regular. You only need to do this once every, I would say 5 cases, or 2 to 3 if you are nitpicky. Other than that, that's pretty much all the maintenance that you ever need to do with the Luxe. It's really not too much. Some people think it is too much. I think, however, it's just right. I like maintaining guns. I like tuning my guns. I like messing with my guns, and making sure that they shoot as best as I possibly can. I don't like messing with dwell or anything like that, but I do like making sure that my gun is clean and putting the best kind of material that I can in it. Like, for example, the Pooty Core, I might upgrade to that. However, I can't see myself upgrading this thing or upgrading to the best trigger I possibly can. Not really a huge fan of this double style trigger. I do like it better than the stock trigger, but I'm probably just going to go ahead and get a Violent Series scythe trigger for it. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. I have not turned it on at all for you guys, and I kind of feel ashamed about that, but this is what I mean by just going the extra mile that I think DLX did with this gun. They just went the extra mile. I mean, that's just crazy. It lets you know when you're running with no paint. You know, it's the little things that I think make this marker amazing. They do now have an OLED screen, and it's just pretty much I mean, nobody can really complain, I think, when it comes to this marker. They just shoot great. They have a great reputation. Um, Not a lot of people. It's not for everybody. A lot of people just like the plenty clip style guns where you literally don't even have to take care of it all often. You pick it up, you shoot it, and it will always work. That's a nice feature. However, uh, I prefer shot quality over anything. The one downside to this gun is it's not so air efficient, but the shot quality has simply been the best shot quality that I've ever shot. It's amazing how amazingly quiet this gun is and how amazingly smooth this gun is. I think overall, I tried to keep this review short. I don't know how long it ran, but if you're asking my opinion on it, get it. If you get the chance to shoot one, shoot one. If you get the chance to own one, uh, I mean, I always recommend shooting your gun first before you try it out. But I definitely recommend this gun. It's absolutely phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about it. It's crazy. I don't know when I'm actually gonna switch to a different marker. So it might be a really long time till you see a review. I don't do many of them, and I think that shows why I think this gun is definitely worth the review. I don't do many reviews. I only do reviews on guns that I think are worth it. Bob Long G6R I think is worth it. The Luxe 2.0 is definitely worth it. And who knows what gun in the future I think will be worth it. Other than that, guys, look forward to more gameplay of this for sure. I've definitely have committed myself to bringing my camera out as much as I can. So hopefully I'm going to get more content up on this page. Thank you, and we'll turn it off for the closer.